All right, then, let's do this thing. Impact Wrestling, Against All Odds. Almost forgot that show was this Saturday, but some interesting news, I should say, with Against All Odds coming this Saturday. Well, mostly for the world title match, but some very interesting news. I guess they were going to have a summit that was going to kick off the show with Scott D'Amore already in the ring. He brought out Tony Khan. Tony Khan came out to the usual AEW Dynamite theme and, basically saying that Scott D'Amore was a good host and, thank him for welcoming the Impact and everything. But they got to discuss the whole, title match Against All Odds. Don Callis came out then as Tony Khan basically was I guess he had a plan for what was gonna go on. Callis basically came out and said, Kenny Omega and Moose, they're great athletes and whatnot. But then he talked about Sammy Callahan, how he's been blacklisted from promotions and he can't come to all these countries and territories, and how he's almost when he first came in as an EVP, busting Eddie Edwards' eye open with a baseball bat, or even making him bleed many months ago, with like in 3 months of the company, saying that Callahan is a loose cannon. All right, and Scott D'Amore basically saying, Cal, you're a smart man, but a lot of plans change on the fly, basically. And D'Amore basically said, him and Tony Khan have settled what they're gonna do for this title match. As Tony Khan talked about Don Callis, and yes, you've been with Kenny for the time being, but he feels that Kenny Omega and Moose should be in a bigger venue. So at Against All Odds, it's gonna be at Daly's place, which I'm gonna assume it's already taped, or maybe they'll tape it on Dynamite on Friday. But the title match for the Impact World Title between Moose and Omega will happen at Daly's place. I don't know if there's a crowd or whatnot, but that's the place where it's gonna take it on this Saturday. And Tony Khan saying that Sammy Callahan won't be allowed in the Daly's place. He won't be able to get in. He's banned and whatnot. As Callis basically says he's happy with these arrangements and whatnot. As he told Scott to step, not Scott, but he told Callis to stick around. Basically, Gallows and Anderson won't be able to get in also, so no one's going to be interfering in this, all right? Because the Good Brothers, they're still going to be here at Skyway Studios on that same day because they're going to have a match. And here's the thing, whoever wins between Moose and Omega will face Sammy Callahan at Slammiversary for the Impact World title. Okay, couple things to say. For at first, I actually thought the whole pay per view was going to be, well, it's an Impact Plus show, but I actually thought the whole show was going to be at Daly's place, but it's only going to be the world title match. I still expect something screwy to happen. I still see a triple threat match going to happen Slammiversary. I think it's kind of odd though that Callahan is getting a world title shot, just because he got beat up by Gallows and Anderson because he was screwed out of his number one contender spot and whatnot. Well, he didn't even earn it also. So I think it's kind of odd that Moose and Omega are fighting for who's going to face Callahan at Slammiversary, even though Callahan has done nothing to really earn this title shot. He's involved in this feud, but he hasn't earned it. And then it's like, why does the champion need to face the challenger at the next pay per view? Think about that. Okay. So I don't know, something's up with that. I still expect to see some type of a screwy finish since it's at Daly's place and whatnot. So I think it's still gonna be a triple threat match at Slammiversary. I'm still betting on that. Okay, so it is interesting to know that the world title match, well, the only match from Impact is gonna be at Daly's place. But next thing you know, Gallows and Anderson and Callis were kind of pissed off. Even though Omega 2, they were trying to get interviewed. Callis basically, saying that they got bounties on their names and whatnot. Those Scott D'Amore say, good bros, you are gonna be facing some someone at Slammiversary. Sammy Callahan and a partner of his choosing will be in a street fight. Okay, while Omega's on his own defending that world title. So at least we know the Good Brothers and Callahan will have a match during this show, and they won't be able to make it to Florida and whatnot. So we'll see what goes on from there. Next, they went to Brian Myers. I guess this whole segment on trained professional wrestler and whatnot, or to be the most professional. Talk about Sam Beal, and we're gonna talk about, I guess, promos this time and communication. And next, Beal's cutting his promo about Matt Cardona, about his physique and his hot fiance. But Beal's, I thought I was supposed to build up my opponent and whatnot. And so it means more when you beat them. But Myers says whoever gave you that advice is horrible. You need to run down Matt Cardona. You need to bury him. You need to tell him how much why he sucks, why he's horrible, why he's not good. You need to say all of that. I'm enjoying these Brian Myers segments. I will say that it's pretty funny. Um, Next, though, Scott D'Amore talking to Callahan then about this match. Callahan saying you're trying to screw me over, but D'Amore says I'm helping you out. Tommy Dreamer just happens to show back up. We haven't seen Dreamer in a very long time since what was the last show he was at? It was on, I know it was on my birthday, but it was like the following week he was gone after that. Now that's Sacrifice. It was on the 13th. Man, I don't remember the show. Man, I know it was him versus Swan for the world title at that time, but what was it? Wasn't Sacrifice, or I got Against All Odds coming up. What other Impact pay per view or TNA pay per view we had at the time? I think it was Was it Victory Road? I don't know. I gotta go back and look. But Tommy Dreamer basically just showed back up, saying him and Callahan have a common enemy. We've been enemies before, but we have a common one. All right. But Callahan says, "All right, what the hell? But if you mess up, I get to beat your ass again." And then, Scott basically said, "Hey, good job on just showing up and whatnot." But Dreamer says that Don Callis, is the enemy and whatnot. I'm working with you. You need to watch out for him. He's your enemy. All right. And Scott D'Amore, I guess, didn't like it and walked off then after that. But yeah, Tommy Dreamer just shows back up randomly. He's in a match against all odds. Okay. Rosemary went against Havoc. Whoever wins if Havoc wins, it will be a triple threat match at Against All Odds. But no, Rosemary ended up winning with the spear, taking down Havoc. But right after, Kimberly, Susan, Deonna Purrazzo came out and basically beat up Havoc and Rosemary then. So it's going to be Rosemary and Deonna at Against All Odds for the title. But then next, Susan called out Tasha Steelz since they are fighting for the tag belts. Her and Kimberly, she won a one-on-one match right now. Kimberly went against Tasha Steelz. Steelz ended up winning with her finisher. It was like a Michinoku driver and whatnot. But next thing you know, a brawl ended up happening. Rosemary and Havoc started coming out then and just taking out everybody and ended up taking Kiera Hogan out last with the double choke slam after that. So Rosemary and Havoc stood tall after that segment. Josh Alexander was being interviewed, talked about his Iron Man match last week with TJP, saying, he waited 16 years to compete in an Iron Man match, and he was excited that he reached that goal. And now he talked about the next challenge for him for this X Division title. Ace Austin showed up saying, you need to watch out because Against All Odds, I'm going to be the number one contender. Supposed to be a 5-way with Ace Austin, P. Williams, Trey Miguel, Chris Bay, and Rohit Raju, which was a tag match. Next after that, though, between Miguel and Williams versus Bay and Raju. Trey ended up getting his submission, hold on to Rohit, I think called it like the hourglass or something, but they ended up getting the win. Ace Austin and Madman Fulton came out, started beating up PD and Miguel. Then Josh Alexander came out for the save, but Fulton ended up taking him down. And then next, all the X Division guys to start jumping Fulton in as Josh took out Ace Austin, and basically they did a super Canadian destroyer. Petey Williams did off the top rope onto he had Fulton on the top rope and did a big super Canadian destroyer where everybody held him up. So that did look deadly. I'm not gonna lie, that looked deadly. A super Canadian destroyer, that's deadly. I wish everybody stopped doing the Canadian destroyer like it's a regular move now, but when PD does it, I feel like it still means something. Rich Swann and Willie Mack was in the back talking about Morrissey, W. Morrissey, and how Mack has him tonight and Swann will have him on Saturday. But Mack told Swann, don't come out if it gets bad. All right? It's a no DQ match. Well, you going to have your time on him on Saturday, but I get him tonight. Tennille Dashwood, I guess her All About Me show at Caleb Conley were there, basically inviting Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. Well, it was Rachel Ellering, but Jordan Grace showed up. I guess she's still trying to get to be her tag partner or whatever. I don't know. The segment wasn't really that good. Basically, it's going to be Jordan Grace versus Tennille this Saturday, so that match is going to happen. Violent by Design cut a promo talking about, they have to defend those tag belts, and they're against all odds right now. And he talked about Eddie Edwards being the heartbeat of Impact Wrestling, and that Joe Doring's going to remove the sickness from him tonight. And he talked about Kojima, how he's a worldwide star, but now Joe Doring is going to take those gifts away from you, because the world doesn't belong to you; it belongs to us. Doring went against Eddie Edwards, ending in a DQ finish. Not bad, I'll say, of the match, but Diener got involved. And then next thing you know, everybody starts jumping Eddie. Kojima comes out for the save then. Kojima and Joe Doring start going back and forth then until Kojima knocked him out of the ring with a lariat. Not Diener, but Doring still tried to get back in the ring then after that, but Violent by Design held him back since it was supposed to be Satoshi Kojima versus Joe Doring this Saturday. So that should be a really good match. Don't see enough of Joe Doring in the ring. So let's see how that goes. Moose had a promo in the back talking about the world title has been eluding him ever since he's been in this company. And that goal is finally going to be against all odds. And he talked about he was pissed when, he lost to Rich Swann. But, he took it for granted and that the better man won. But, he should have been the one to face Omega at Hard to Kill. And it would have been different. And now that Omega has all those titles now, Moose is getting his chance. And, the last pay-per-view, it's not even nobody on the roster. So Moose said he's going to, get the title back from the, AEW, basically. So a very good promo from Moose. Like I said, I still see a screwy finish happening. But, yeah, against all odds, Moose and Omega for the title at, Daly's place. As they ran through the card for tomorrow night or Saturday night at Against All Odds, W. Morrissey went against Willie Mack in the main event. Not bad. I will say they're getting Morrissey over more and more. I want to say Big Cass so bad, but I'm trying not to. But he ended up with a big boot on the chair to Mac's face. He started beating the hell out of Mac then after that. Swann came out and, went for the save. He tried to knock Morrissey off his feet, but it didn't work. Security ended up breaking it up then. Morrissey, tried to go back onto Swann and whatnot, but security was able to tell him to go to the back. Swann got a chair and hit Morrissey in the back with it, which he was still standing once he got on the ground. Had to stare down with Rich Swann after that. So we'll see what happens this Saturday and whatnot. So I say so a lot. No, I feel like I say so many, many times. So. But my point in this whole review is this. Morrissey's most likely going to go over since they've been getting him over as the Giant right now, just killing everybody so far. Like I said, it's going good for him right now. It really is. More than I could say it was going good for him as Big Cass. Well, when he was Big Cass at the time. But I like what I'm seeing right now. But overall, very good go-home show for Against All Odds. I am a little bit more interested in this, Impact Plus show for, I try not to say it's a pay-per-view and whatnot, but I am more interested in this Impact Plus show in general, looking at the card and whatnot. And the world title match, I'm assuming, will be in front of people. I'm going to assume that whenever they tape this, or if it's already taped, or maybe it's going to be taped after Dynamite on Friday. I don't know. We'll just have to find out tomorrow, or Saturday or tomorrow, or whenever you're watching this review I'm doing up against Impact right now. You'll see it Against All Odds, okay? We'll have a review for it, most likely. Maybe I will, but we'll see what's going to happen when that leads into Slammiversary, okay? But other than that, I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. So, be back for SmackDown and AEW Dynamite review. I'm out. Peace.